If you asked anyone in St. Aritse Girls' Academy who ruled the school, they would not say the principal. They would not say the school owner. They would not even say the angel statue at the front gate that looked like it was judging everyone's life choices. No, they would say Madame Felicia Okwadiri. A woman whose eyebrows were permanently arched like she was allergic to happiness. A woman who walked like she owned oxygen and everyone else was borrowing it from her. A woman so feared that even the school dogs refused to bark when she passed. Madame Felicia was the senior welfare officer, but in reality she was the commander-in-chief of wickedness. And she had a secret hobby: turning students into her personal housemaids. Every term, she handpicked her victims carefully, usually the brightest girls or the most outspoken ones. She preferred confident students because, according to her, I must break the wide wrapper like a village chief justice. Once she selected her targets, she reported them to their parents with imaginary crimes. She insulted a teacher. She fought in the dormitory. She is forming over-sabi. She rolled her eyes at authority. Spirit of rebellion is worrying her. The parents, who believed the school was holier than a bishop's diary, accepted every lie with gratitude. Then the real suffering began. She dragged the girls to her house 10 minutes from the school gate and turned them into unpaid domestic workers. Morning till night, they scrubbed floors, cooked for her family of 7, washed mountain-sized laundry, fried plantain while dodging hot oil like they were in a wrestling match, cleaned her dusty compound, entertained her screaming toddler, and even assisted her elderly mother with her endless wig collection. Madame Felicia insulted them without rest. Jinasa, you want to be doctor? With these your broom hand skills? My dear, even cleaning work will reject you. Aresua, look at you, walking as if you are carrying your father's mansion on your head. It was a daily routine of emotional torture drenched in Nigerian sarcasm. In school, the victims were always tired, always pale, and always drifting through class like background ghosts in a movie. When their parents complained, Madame Felicia would sigh dramatically and say, "We are really trying to correct her, but this girl is stubborn like 3 goats tied together." And the parents would thank her. Nobody dared report her because she had one powerful protection charm. She was the school owner's cousin, and everyone knew the rule of survival in St. Aritse Academy. Who born you to challenge family? This wickedness went on for years: fear, manipulation, suffering, until one particular Monday morning when the gates opened and a new student walked in like a movie character entering her first scene. Her name was Ezine Chizoba Okafor. From the moment she stepped in, seniors whispered among themselves. She had that rebellious aura that made everyone suspicious. She walked like someone who refused to fear anybody, and her eyes scanned the school like she was already planning something. The first time she met Madame Felicia, she was simply walking past the staff room when the woman stopped her. "Hey you, come here. Why are you walking like you are stepping on the ground with anger?" Ezine blinked. "Ma, is there a correct way to step on the ground? Should I float?" Gasps exploded everywhere. Madame Felicia's eyebrow twitched, a sign that thunder was looming. "That your mouth," she hissed. "I will reshape it." Ezine smiled calmly. "Better start quickly then, Ma. I'm new, but my mouth is not going anywhere." Students scattered like cockroaches when you turn on the light. Even birds abandoned the mango tree. From that moment, it became clear that Madame Felicia had finally met her match. Little did she know that this new girl was not just fearless. She was about to tear open years of hidden wickedness and shake the entire school to its foundation.
And very soon, St. Aritze Academy girls would learn that one stubborn girl with courage is more dangerous than a wicked woman with connections.
From the very first week, Ezine became a mystery the entire school wanted to solve. She didn't fear seniors. She didn't fear prefects. She didn't fear teachers. And she definitely didn't fear Madame Felicia, which alone deserved a national award. While other students tiptoed around the woman like she was a sleeping lion, Ezine boldly walked past her and even greeted her with unnecessary enthusiasm. "Good afternoon, ma. Your wrapper is wrapping beautifully today." Madame Felicia would stare at her like she was examining a dangerous animal she wasn't sure she could cage. 3 days into the term, something happened that spread across the school like harmattan fire. Lunchtime was noisy as usual, plates clanging, girls shouting for extra meat, someone crying because her garri soaked too fast, when suddenly the whole place went silent. Madame Felicia marched into the dining hall. Her eyes scanned the crowd like CCTV. Then she pointed at a small JSS2 girl named Oiza. "You, follow me." Everyone knew what that meant. Oiza's face collapsed like cold pap. She stood up slowly, shaking, ready to be another victim in Madame Felicia's discipline project, also known as housemaid recruitment. But before she could take one step, a voice rang out. "Sorry, ma. Follow you to where?" The dining hall inhaled as one. It was Ezine. Madame Felicia turned around slowly, her expression shifting from confusion to shock to holy annoyance. "Oh, so you think you know better than me, you this stubborn rat." "I'm not that small," Ezine replied proudly. "My father says I have the spirit of a lion." "Well, your father didn't know you would meet a tiger," Madame Felicia snapped. "True," Ezine nodded, "but tigers fear lions, ma." Silence. Then pure chaos. Madame Felicia commanded her to kneel down for talking like a possessed generator, but Ezine refused. The woman grabbed her arm. Ezine gently freed herself and said, "Ma, please don't touch me. I don't like violence." And with that, she walked out of the dining hall like an actress leaving a rubbish scene she didn't approve of. That night, when everyone slept, Ezine was awake. She had noticed something strange. Certain students always disappeared during weekends and evenings. They came back exhausted, pale and barely functioning. She cornered one, Chinaza, behind the dormitory. "Where do you people always go?" Ezine asked. Chinaza trembled. "Please leave me. I don't want trouble." "Trouble has already found you," Ezine replied. "Talk." Chinaza burst into tears. She confessed everything. How Madame Felicia forced them to work in her house like slaves, washing clothes, cooking, cleaning, caring for children, all while parents believed they were being disciplined. Ezine listened quietly, her expression turning colder by the second. "So this woman has turned students into house appliances," she muttered. Chinaza nodded. "She said if we tell anyone, we will suffer more. And she's connected to the school owner. Nobody will believe us." Ezine smiled, a slow, dangerous smile. "Don't worry, I will scatter this place." The next day, Operation Evidence began. Ezine borrowed phones, hid recording devices, and even pretended to be lost so she could observe Madame Felicia's house. She recorded everything. Madame Felicia shouting at students like a general in a chaotic battle, students washing clothes taller than them, girls cooking for her entire family, stolen school supplies stacked in her store, receipts showing money diverted into her personal account, even a clip where she slapped a girl for walking like someone planning to succeed. That night, Ezine sat on her bunk reviewing the videos. This woman, she is not just wicked, she's a full-time criminal with weekend shifts. She saved everything on a flash drive, then created a backup, then another backup, then hid one in her bra because life is unpredictable. During rehearsals for the annual Excellence Day, a big event with parents, dignitaries, and even TV coverage, Ezine noticed the technical crew testing the projector. Something sparked in her brain. A wild idea. A dangerous idea. A perfect idea. She smiled to herself.
Time to cause premium madness. St. Aritsu Girls Academy had no idea that a storm was coming, and this storm had breeds and attitude.
Excellence Day finally arrived. The entire St. Aritse Girls Academy was sparkling. Brooms were sweeping aggressively, teachers were pretending to be friendlier than usual, and the principal kept smiling the kind of smile that said, "Nobody must disgrace me today." Parents arrived in shiny agbadas and carefully wrapped gillies that looked like architectural masterpieces. Students sat according to classes, pretending to be well-behaved angels. But backstage, Ezine was preparing for war. She stood behind the projector table, holding her flash drive like a grenade. The moment the hall darkened for the opening multimedia presentation, she whispered, "God, please don't let NEPA embarrass me today." As the event began, Madame Felicia sat confidently in the front row, legs crossed, expression smug. She even waved at parents like she was Mother of the Year. The MC stepped up. "Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Excellence Day." Thunderous applause. The lights dimmed. The projector screen lit up. The MC announced, "We will now begin with our official school documentary." Except, the documentary did not play. Instead, a shaky video appeared. A video of Chinnasa in Madame Felicia's house washing a mountain of clothes taller than she was. Parents squinted. Teachers frowned. Students screamed, "Ah, that is Chinnasa! That is her housework uniform!" Oh." The hall went silent. Before anyone could blink, another clip played, Madame Felicia shouting at students, "Scrub that floor. You think your father sent you here to rest?" Gasps filled the hall. Then another video, stolen school supplies stacked in her store. Another video, a money transfer receipt with her name. Another, her slapping a student for walking with confidence. Madame Felicia jumped up like she had been electrocuted. "That is not me! That is not me! Something is wrong with the projector!" she screamed. The projector refused to obey her lies. Video after video exposed her entire career of wickedness. Parents stood up. Teachers panicked. The school owner nearly fainted. One mother shouted, "So you have been turning my daughter into a maid? Are you mad?" Another father roared, "Where is my child?" Madame Felicia tried to escape through the side door. She didn't make it. Security grabbed her, parents shouted, teachers shook their heads, students rejoiced like they had won the World Cup. As she was dragged out, wrapper shifting, scarf falling, she screamed, "It's a lie! Everything is a lie! This girl used witchcraft!" But the evidence was louder than her voice. By evening, Madame Felicia had been dismissed, disgraced, and handed over to the police. Her arrogance finally met handcuffs. Back in the dormitory, girls celebrated. They danced, they shouted, some cried tears of relief. Ezine didn't join the celebration. She sat quietly on her bunk, knowing what was coming. The next morning, the principal called an emergency assembly. Students gathered, expecting praise for Ezine. Instead, the principal adjusted her glasses and announced, "Due to unauthorized access to school equipment, breach of protocol, and public disruption, Ezine Chizoba Okafo is hereby expelled." Gasps, cries, protests. Chinaza burst into tears. Oiza ran to hug her. Half the school screamed in outrage. But Ezine simply smiled. "It's okay," she said, patting their backs. "I didn't come here to stay. I came here to finish one woman." As she walked out of the school gate with her luggage, the girls lined up on both sides like she was a warrior returning from battle. They clapped, they cheered, they chanted her name. Ezine, Ezine, Ezine the Brave, Savior of St. Aritse, our own Jackie Chan, Lioness, Breaker of Wickedness. Even some teachers saluted discreetly. Ezine turned back, raised 2 fingers in the air and said, "Don't let anybody intimidate you. Use your voice.
Use your brain, and if both fail, carry evidence." The gate closed behind her, and though she left expelled, she left as a hero, the girl who ended years of silence, fear, and oppression. St. Aritse Girls Academy would never forget her. This is the end of this story. The dust settled. The truth was exposed. One brave girl changed an entire school. Ezine walked away carrying her suitcase and her victory. St. Aritse Girls Academy would remember her forever. The moral lesson of this story is, evil thrives when good people keep quiet. Silence protects the oppressor, not the victim. Courage doesn't always roar. It sometimes simply says, "This must stop." Stand up for the truth, even when you stand alone. And always remember, evidence is stronger than intimidation. If you enjoyed this dramatic story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more jaw-dropping tales. What would you have done if you were in Edine's shoes? Drop your thoughts below. And remember, in every school, in every workplace, in every community, speak up, stand strong, and never let wickedness win. See you in the next story.